I want to start off by saying that I'm so happy to be back here again, right? The last time I was here was in June, right? I think June I came here. And then a few times before that when I was here for my 3-month stay. And that's when your husband passed away. I went to go visit him, right?
Yes.
When he was in the hospice care hospital.
Yes.
And we did the funeral.
Yes.
And now here back again, right? Very close. 5 days away, right? Because you said it's on the 4th of December. We're gathered here again today. So the Buddha said that we all have duties. We all have responsibilities, right? Nowadays, in society, we talk about our rights, my rights, right? Like my freedoms. This is usually what does everyone basically have to do for me, right? What does society, what does this country have to do for me? These are my rights. What can I get from others? But that's very important. But we also have the other side of it, which is what are our duties? What are our responsibility to others? What can we do for others? So we see this in the teachings of the Buddha, right? Both what the other person has to do for us and what we have to do for them. So it's reciprocal. It's both sides, right? We have our rights, but those rights come with responsibilities, the duties. Right? And those duties also come with our rights. So they go together. We have to understand these two things. If you only do duties, you have no rights, then you become exploited. People are taking advantage of you. Right? If you have only rights but no duties, you become a very selfish person. It's all about you. It's all about me. There's a sutta called the Sigalavata Sutta, also called Sigalaka, Digha Nikaya. Right? In this sutta, the Buddha talks about all the roles in society. He primarily focuses on friends, the Kalyanamitas. The responsibilities friends have to each other. The duties friends have to each other. The Buddha talks about the difference between real friends and fake friends. He says the real friends are the ones who are there during difficult times. The real friends are the ones who are there when you are lacking something. When you don't have enough food, when you don't have enough money, when you don't have a place to stay, when you have nothing to offer them. The people who are there at that time, those are your real friends. Your real friends are the ones that hold you accountable. They tell you, no, you have to do this. This is your duty. That's your real friend. The fake friends are the ones who say, oh, you don't have to do those things. Don't worry. You do whatever you want to do. Right? The fake friends are the ones that are not there when you don't have any money or anything to offer them. The fake friends are the ones that encourage you to get into problems or do things that are not socially acceptable. And in this same sutta, the Buddha talks about these different roles. He talks about the roles that the teacher has to a student and the student has to a teacher. The roles that a husband has to a wife and a wife to a husband. The roles, as I said earlier, of friend to friend. The roles of the boss and the employee to the boss. The roles of religious people, right? The monks and priests, Brahmas and Samanas to lay people, and lay people to Brahmas and Samanas. But even within this context, the main role that we all have to each other is as friends. You know this, we practiced metta meditation earlier. This word metta comes from the word of friendship. So metta in Pali comes from Maitri in Sanskrit, which means friendliness. Okay? So the main role, the main duty that we play not only to other people in our society, but to all beings in samsara as a friend. Even the Buddha, right? The Buddha referred to himself as the friend of everyone, everyone's friend. Sometimes now we think about Buddha as the boss, right? Buddha as the God, Buddha as the guru, the teacher, the main person in charge. No, but the Buddha thought of himself as your best friend, your Kalyanamita. That's why the Buddha had so much kindness and compassion for everyone. Like your friend does, right? Like you have for your friends, you care about them. The Buddha's not the boss, right? Because maybe your boss doesn't care about you. He just wants you to work, right? But that's not the role of the Buddha. The Buddha's a friend. So he wants us to be like the Buddha, to be like him, to be everyone's friend. That's what he asks us to develop, this mind of loving kindness. And once we see that all beings are like us, that all beings also want to be well and happy, that all beings are seeking happiness, then it's very easy to do our duty. Sometimes we think about duties like task or work that we have to do. Oh, I have to get my children ready for school. I have to feed my husband. I have to do all these things, take my wife to her appointments. Then it becomes like work. And that's very painful, you know? It's like when your boss tells you to do work, you're not excited about it. But if you see your family, your children and your husband and your wife and your mother-in-law and father-in-law, and you see your neighbors, and you see your coworkers as your friends, then it's very easy. You know, we naturally want to do good for our friends. No one has to force us, right? Sometimes we're just sitting there like, well, it'll be nice if I do this for my friends. Maybe you start thinking about where to take them to eat or what food to take them or some gift to get to them or to send them a nice message. No one has to force you to do those things because you care. It feels nice. Right? So it's from this place of loving kindness, of friendliness, that we do our duties. I mean, in English, duty sounds very strong, right? Like very formal. Responsibility, too, sounds very formal. But it's just a natural. Our mind, our heart naturally inclines to want to do these things when we care about people. Right? That's what metta is caring. Once you care, you'll do whatever you need to do to help that person. And one of those duties is to honor, venerate, respect our loved ones when they passed away. We still have a duty to those that we love who have passed away. You might say, why? They're not here anymore. Well, think about duty as I told you. Duty means you care about someone, right? So when someone passes away, it doesn't mean you stop caring about them, right? It's actually, that's why we grieve so much. That's why it's so painful. That's why we get sad. Because we care about them, but they're not here, right? We want to feed them. We want to do nice things for them. We want to tell them that we love them, that they're so important to us, but we don't see them. We can't talk to them. So then when we can't care for the person that we care about, it becomes very painful. But in Buddhism, we don't have to think about it that way. In Buddhism, we have this beautiful map of rebirth, samsara. Right? So if we understand this, then we know, actually my loved one is not permanently gone. They're somewhere. I just don't know where. They're somewhere around. They could have been reborn already here in Sydney someplace, as a baby. We don't know. Right? They could have been reborn as a bird in the tree near home. They could be in the Devaloka. They could be anywhere. Right? If they're reborn as a human or an animal in this world, we hope that they have a good life and they have a good family and they have food and they have water because we care about them. If they're born as an angel, as a god, as a deva, they don't need our help. We don't have to worry about them, right? They're living a good life. If they're reborn in one of the hells, they have to face their karma. There's nothing we can really do for them. But if they're reborn as a peta, right? Usually we say hungry ghost, as a departed one. There is something actually we can do for them. There's a way that we can help them. And the Buddha said is by doing good actions in their name. We do something good. And we do it thinking about them. Right? We dedicate this action, this merit to them in their name. That's how we can repay them. Because if they're in this realm of being a Peta, they don't have the opportunity to do good things. They can't offer food because they have no food. They can't help others because it's impossible for them to help others. And so they can't do these things, but we can do it for them. It's very interesting because for the loved ones, it's like we have a sort of a spiritual power of attorney. You know what a power of attorney is? That you can do things in somebody else's name, right? So for our loved ones, when they pass away, the direct family members, spouses have some sort of like spiritual power of attorney where you can do things in their name and dedicate it to them. And if they are in this Peta world, they can gain some relief, right? Some comfort being there. We can't take them out of there because that's their karma. They have to be there. But we can make it more enjoyable, right? A little less dukkha for them. Just like humans in this world, right? Humans are born with bad conditions, in bad places, in terrible places. People are born with diseases, with disabilities. People sometimes in this very life, they make bad choices and they hurt themselves and they make their life very difficult. That's their karma. They have to experience it. But us, as compassionate people, we can do something to try to make it a little bit easier for them. Right? Just because someone has done bad karma and they have to experience their bad karma, doesn't mean that we shouldn't be compassionate and kind and try to take care of them and do something nice for them, right? So even though if our loved ones happen to be born in the Peta world, in the hungry ghost world, we still have a duty. We still care about them. And because we care, we want to do something. So then the Buddha advised us from time to time to do these type of events like today. Right? Especially to offer something to the Sangha. He says if you offer something to the Sangha, is the most powerful way that you can help your departed ones if they are reborn in a difficult place. But you know there's over 30 different levels in samsara, and we can divide each level into further levels. So just, probabilities, percentage-wise, it's very unlikely that they're born in this place. So we don't need to worry too much about it. I don't want people to become concerned or freak out, But we do it just in case because we don't know. Actually, they asked this to the Buddha. But how do we know if our loved one is reborn as a Peta, as a hungry ghost? He goes, whether or not, you should still do it. It's a good thing to do it. It's still a good thing to do. And if our loved ones are reborn in a heaven as a Deva, they don't need our merit. They don't need the good karma from this. They don't need the punya. But some of these Devas, from time to time, they look. Because they're in heaven, right? They have a lot of power. They can look at earth and they can look at the people that they love. And maybe they see you do this and they become happy. Right? Oh, yes, my daughter, my husband, my wife, my friend. Oh, they're still practicing Dhamma. They're still doing good things. Oh, I'm so happy, right? So even we can make the angels and the gods happy, even though they don't need the karma, they don't need the merit. We can bring a smile to their face, which is also good, right? We like to bring smile to people's faces. We like to make people feel happy. So even if they're not reborn as a Peta, we still do it. And if they're not reborn as a Peta and they're reborn as a Deva, we do it because we want to bring a smile to their face and we want to make them feel happy. Right? But why wait for people to pass away to do our duties? Why wait to show that we care until they pass away? We should show these people now. Right? Now is the time. So the final words of the Buddha were appamada. Right? Appamada means do not delay. Do not wait. Or positive, to be diligent. Right? He says, if you are not diligent, you will regret it in the future. In part as a Buddhist monk, I go visit a lot of people when they're very sick, when they're very old, and when they're about to die. And one of the things that bothers people the most is regrets. Right? Why didn't I do all these things? I should have done all these things. They thought, I have more time. Tomorrow, next week, next year. Next year we'll go on the vacation. Don't worry. 2 years from now, we'll do that thing that you want, honey. Right? But it's uncertain. We don't know. So when I go visit these people, there's a lot of regret, remorse in their mind. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. All these things. So in order to avoid that suffering, now in this moment, we should do our duty. Right now, in this moment, do your duty. Don't wait for someone to die to do good merit for them. Do good merit right now. Today, do something good for them. You know, this is the practice of dana. Right? Usually when we think about dana, you think, oh, feeding the monks. That's dana. That's just the highest form of dana, right? You get the most merit. But the Buddha encouraged doing dana for everyone. Any person, actually any creature. You know, at my temple, all the leftover rice we give to the birds. The leftover food, we leave it outside. The raccoons, the possums come. We give to the cats. And also, in order to avoid the ants from coming in, we always leave a little bit of food outside, especially the desserts. They like the sugar. We put outside, and the ants, we feed the ants, you know, in our temple. Also, by doing that, you also get merit. You also do good. So, if it's good even to give to an ant, you know, it's definitely good to give to your husband or wife, or to your children, or to your neighbor, or to your mother and father-in-law. We should always do our duty now. So we have a duty now too, to our loved ones. And one of the best ways that we can fulfill our duty is by encouraging people to do good. Right? And for Buddhists, this usually means inviting people to these type of ceremonies. Right? Dhamma dana is the highest dana. Dhamma dana is the highest. Giving the Dhamma, right? Giving the medicine from dukkha is the highest one. So we have a duty to our loved ones, and the highest form of doing this duty is to have them practice Dhamma. Right? So usually when we think about memorial services like today, anniversary, we think it's like a sad thing, right? Oh, sad, we're going to remember all these sad things. But actually, this event is a very good one. Because you got everyone today to come and practice the Dhamma. Right? And because it's such an important event, it's very unlikely that they'll say no, right? Most people are, oh, passed away 1 year anniversary. They feel a little bit bad. I should go, you know? And we use this opportunity, right? We use this tenderness of their mind to introduce them to something nice like the Dhamma. Maybe earlier they're like, oh, I wonder how she's going to feel. Maybe I should tell her it's going to be okay. Maybe I need to do something for her, right? They come with this kind of sad or negative perspective. But then they see you like I saw you and you were smiling, you know, and you're very happy, you know, and you're doing fine. They're like, oh, wow, okay. Maybe it's because she's connected with the Dhamma, right? And if the Dhamma makes her happy, maybe I can become happier also with the Dhamma, right? So by bringing people to the Dhamma, we give them hope. We inspire them, we motivate them, right? That even when we lose someone that we love, we can still have happiness. We can have happiness of practicing Dhamma. You know, a lot of people, when faced with death, they become hopeless. What am I going to do now? My life has changed. My life was all about this person. Whether it's your children, whether it's your parents, whether it's your husband or wife, they don't know what they can do. But if you invite someone here, then they can think, well, although that person that meant so much to me, my life revolved around them. I lost that person. I don't know what to do. But now I know what to do. I know that I should practice the Dhamma. There's a sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya where the Buddha goes to a king and he tells the king, I'm going to just tell you a story and I want you to tell me what you think. So imagine you were to get one messenger and you send them to the north of your kingdom and you tell them to go there and report whatever the messenger finds. So the messenger comes back and he tells the king, King, while I traveled to the north, I saw a big mountain like an avalanche, right? Or a tsunami. coming, destroying everything, all the life, destroying all the animals, all the people, nothing to survive. This is what I have to report to you, King. You do, King, whatever you think you need to do. But I'm telling you that there's a big avalanche coming that's going to destroy everything. Not only that, but another messenger comes from the south, one from the west and one from the east. And they all tell the king the same thing. There's this huge amount of earth coming from all sides, surrounding the kingdom, destroying everything. There's no escape. The Buddha says, what would you do if you found yourself in that situation, King? The king says, there's nothing for me to do. All I can do is practice Dhamma. There's nothing else. Then the Buddha tells the king, King, I declare to you that you are surrounded by all these mountains right now. You're surrounded by death all around you. Right? At any moment, this life can collapse on you. So what should you do? Then it becomes very obvious. Oh, I should be practicing the Dhamma now. Right? So once we understand that at any time, our life or the lives of everyone that we love could be taken away, right? Then we become appamada. We become diligent. We work hard, right? We don't become pamada, lazy. We don't leave it for tomorrow. We fulfill our duties. We do what we've been thinking or what we've been feeling. This is the practice of Maranusati. Right? Sometimes when we think about Maranusati, we think it's something scary or sad or disgusting. Oh, thinking about death, thinking about a rotting corpse, thinking about a skeleton, Maranusati. Oh, it's so sad, it's so depressing. But it's not about that. Maranusati, thinking about death meditation, is to energize you, to show you what's really important. What's really important? The people that you care. To do your duties, to practice giving, to practice sila, to practice bhavana, to learn the suttas, to motivate you to go. That's the whole point of contemplating about death. And that's one of the, some people are very fortunate when they lose something that they love a lot, or if they get a diagnosis of a very deep illness, like cancer or something like this, then it becomes obvious to them, you know what? I was a fool my whole life. I know what I should have been doing. I should have been practicing the Dhamma, right? Or if they're Christian, I should have been practicing Christianity or Islam, whatever it is, right? People who find themselves close to death or very sick, they get this clarity. I should have been living a spiritual life. I should have been a good person. That's the most important thing, right? So we can get something beneficial. We can get something beautiful out of something that's very difficult, like death. Or we can deny the truth and go back into our ignorance, go back to our delusion, and go back into chasing money, chasing titles, chasing sensual pleasures, chasing fame, whatever it is, right? But every death is an opportunity for a rebirth, something new. Something new can come from the loss of something else. And it doesn't necessarily have to be for you. You can see someone else lose something, and if you're smart, if you're intelligent, if you have wisdom, you'll also understand what that other person understood. Oh, wow. Maybe I should live a more spiritual, a more Dhamma life. And the first step in living the spiritual life, the Buddha says many times, especially in the Digha Nikaya, when he talks about the gradual path. After having faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, after getting saddha, the next step is dana, giving. Right? So what does it mean to practice the spiritual life? What is one of the insights or knowledges you get from death? Is that you should be doing good. That you should be practicing charity. That you should be encouraging others to do good too. And to practice charity. And to help others. So dana is also helping. Doing things for people. Because if you help people with things, you're giving your time. You're giving your energy. Right? And you're giving your attention. That's also giving. You know, right now, the number one commodity in the world is attention. That's what every corporation, every company is trying to get for you. That's the most important thing now. Right? They spend millions upon millions, and if not billions of dollars, investing in marketing and advertising, how to get your attention. Because your attention is so valuable. It's the most valuable thing. That's why things are so bright, so loud. They put very beautiful people there, right? Everything's so shiny. They want your attention because your attention means so much. Right? Your attention also means so much to your children, to your husband and wife. It's the most important thing to them. How nice does it feel, right, when someone that you care about pays attention to you? Instead of being like, oh yeah, yes honey, yes mom, yes dad, nice. That doesn't feel good, right? When you're talking to someone and they're just scrolling through their phone or looking on their phone. It doesn't feel like, or listening to the radio, they're laying there, and you're talking, no. But if you pay attention to someone, it feels so good. That's also a way of giving. You know, that was one of the superpowers of the Buddha. That every person that he was with, 100% attention on them. That's why people felt so safe. Right? That's why people love the Buddha so much. They would say, oh, the Buddha feels so peaceful. The Buddha feels so nice, like shiny lights coming from him and everything. Because people have never experienced someone paying 100% attention to them, giving them that attention. We should also give attention. That's also a very important thing to give, especially for children. The number one thing that children want is attention. Right? Mommy, daddy, mommy, look at this, look at that. They're not doing anything special, but they want you to see them, right? That's the most important thing to them. They make it obvious. They tell you that they want your attention. But guess what? We're all like them. We just don't say it. Because we want to be polite or whatever, you know? So we don't say, oh, honey, give me more attention. He should already know that I want attention, you know? Like, I shouldn't have to tell him. Attention is such a beautiful thing. Attention means sati, right? Sometimes we think about sati as mindfulness, like, oh, I have to be very meditative. No. There's two types of sati that the Buddha says, or two ways we can practice it in the Satipatthana Sutta, and then all the Satipatthana suttas that the Buddha shares with us. He says, internally and externally. There's two ways you can practice sati. So mindfulness is just not about mindfulness of our body, mindfulness of our feelings, mindfulness of our thoughts, etc. It's also mindfulness of other people's bodies, mindfulness of other people's feelings, mindfulness of other people's mind, mindfulness of other people's phenomena, their thoughts. Right? When we pay attention, when we give attention to people, it's such a healing, such a beautiful thing. When we pay attention, that's how people know that we care. Paying attention is how people know that we care. That's why if you ever trained in healthcare, like a nurse or a doctor, or as a counselor, as a chaplain, as a social worker, what do they tell you? Like to pay attention to the person, right? To listen to them. It's so powerful. The teachers, right? The school teachers, they tell them to pay attention to the children. Right? We know that it's such a powerful thing to show caring. And by showing this caring, we're doing our duty. So what I'm trying to tell you is, and what I'm trying to connect is that you have a duty to listen to others. You have a duty to pay attention to others, to give your attention to others. You have that duty. While they're here, you know, whether they're here or they're gone, we should still pay attention to our loved ones who are gone. We should still be aware of them, have sati about them. If we're aware of them, then we'll do our duty towards them, which is like rituals like today. Right? So this is another way you can practice mindfulness. You know, maybe mindfulness like this for you is too difficult. This mindfulness doesn't seem right. You know, for the kids it's difficult because it's not exciting. But I'm sure everyone likes mindfulness to other people. Right? That's very nice. That's a very easy mindfulness to practice. Right? You can see someone, mindfulness of their body. How's their body? Are they like this? Are they like that? Are they fidgeting? Are they relaxed? Are they sleepy? Mindfulness of their feelings. Do they look pleasant, unpleasant? Are they bothered or not bothered? Mindfulness of their mind. Right? Are they angry? Are they sad? Mindfulness of their thoughts. You know, what are they saying to me? What are they communicating to me? If we practice that type of mindfulness, it's a mindfulness that's beneficial both for us and for others. It shows that we care, and we learn more about the person that we care about. We get to really see what's going on with them. And when we really see what's going on with them, we can better serve them. We can see what's best for them when we really pay attention to them. And to me, I think that was the main power of the Buddha. And last time that I was here, I talked about it a little bit. There was this special power that the Buddha had called Maha Karuna Samapatti, right? The completion, the realization of great compassion. Maha Karuna, not regular Karuna like we practice. Maha Karuna. Samapatti means like complete, the highest level, right? So every morning when the Buddha would come out of his meditation, he would look into the world. He would put his attention to all of us, because we were somewhere around samsara at that time too. He would put his attention to every single person. And he thought, who can I care for today? This person's about to die. This person is suffering a lot. Let me go care for them. You know? So the Buddha set this example for us about caring for people. Even caring for people like Angulimala. You know, that morning, that's what he used. He used the Mahakaruna Samapatti. And he thought, you know what? I'm going to go help this serial killer. For us, that's difficult, right? That's the last person we think about. Maybe we actually hate that person. We think they don't deserve it. But the Buddha thought they deserved it, right? So no matter what your loved one did when they were alive, now that they're gone, forget about all that stuff. I don't think they were serial killers, but maybe they did abuse you. Maybe they did something wrong. They offended you. Be like the Buddha. Okay, now that's gone. Let me see how I can care for them. Let me do something for them. Let me do merit and share the merit with them. To fulfill my duty, to show them that I still care, even though they're not here. To show them that I still care, even though maybe we didn't have the best relationship. To show them that I forgive them. That for myself, I let this go. Don't worry, you don't owe a debt to me. I have forgiven your debt. And the best way is to show someone attention and to show them love. Yeah, so these are just a few things that I wanted to share, about how we can think about these kind of anniversaries, memorial services, in a positive way, and in a way that helps us with the people who are still here. Right? So these people are still here. They should be our priority, and whatever we learned about our person that passed away or ever regrets, don't have the same ones with these people. At any time there can be another COVID pandemic, and we don't know. The world is full of wars and all kinds of things, and then all these storms that are happening in Vietnam, Sri Lanka now, and we don't know. We think we're safe here in Sydney. I'm not too sure, So whatever form of care, whatever form of love you have for someone, just do it now. And I know sometimes in Asian culture, you don't want to say it. It's difficult to say, like, oh, we don't talk to them, But you can do something and they'll know, right? You can make a fruit salad for them or make a cake for them, right? They talk about something a lot. You're like, oh, I should get that thing that they're talking about. Or take them to that place that they've always wanted to go, right? And they'll know that this person cares about me, right? So let's do our duty. Let's show how we care for others, whether they're alive or dead. I think that's the most important thing about these type of rituals. Because by caring, we also develop our sati, our metta, our karuna, our mudita, and our upekkha. If we really care about someone, mothers know this. Whether the child is good or bad, you still care about them, right? There's mothers who have their children in prison for being murderers and doing horrible things, and they still call their child, even though they did horrible things. That's the upekkha. Right? So if we practice this sort of caring, we'll also develop our upekkha by practicing generosity. Okay, and I personally always like to leave some time for any doubts or questions. So maybe 5 minutes? 5 minutes for any questions, and then we can do the sharing merit. Yeah. Anyone? Any questions? Any comments, concerns? Because I covered a lot of things and maybe I talked too fast or I wasn't clear about something. Everyone's content? Yeah. Okay, sounds good. So
After the dinner, after the lunch, somebody.
when no one's looking, right? Like They don't feel shy anymore? Yeah. Okay.
So, going to have the pouring the water
Yes.
here in the middle.
Do we have it here? Do you know if we have it here? The Yatha Puri.
For those who with
Yeah.
I had to do that.
Dipersilakan mengambil ya bagi yang
Do you know if it's in here or no?
It is not
kalau ada yang mau join silakan langsung ambil ya.
If not, I'll look. I don't do it that often.
Iya. Di itu apa di tempat masing-masing atau ambil di tempat masing-masing aja ya? Iya. Oh ya udah.
it is a portion of it is in the Tirokuda Sutta. That's the one. It's page 191. It is but it is it's not edited especially for this one. The first number 8.
You said 190.
191.
Yes.
Page verse 8. It's not for the complete this part.
Okay, we'll just chant this one 3 times. Yes. So we're gonna be on page 191 if you don't know it, and we're gonna be on the verse number 8, and we're gonna chant it 3 times. And you now have to think about your departed loved ones, right? All of you think about your departed loved ones, right? Think about them, and you have to think.
Kalau ada yang mau ini lagi ya, you want to also that is want to pour the water, share the merit to the departed one. I think you can do it.
Yes, there's more. And if not, then you can join in with someone else and pour water with them too. You also have to think about all the merit you've done in your life, right? All the good things you've done in your life, and dedicate all your good actions to your departed loved ones.
Open this and then pour. Everybody, yeah, into the bowl. That's it.
Okay, and slowly pour the water. Yatha vadi vahapura paripurenti sageram evameva ito dinam petananupakapati. Yatha vadi vahapura paripurenti sageram evameva ito dinam petananupakapati. Yatha vadi vahapura paripurenti sageram evameva ito dinam petananupakapati.
For the lunch now.
Yes.
Lunch ya.
Yes, good.
Jeremy udah beres ya.
We can go back to down.
Yes. We're going to forget the
Offer everything.
for the lunch. We're going to
Do chant.
bow also.
Yes.
Bow. Kita akan memberikan hormat kepada Bhante first to the Venerable Samadhi. We're going to bow 3 times. Okasa
Wadami Bhante.
dan juga pada Bhante Sanāthāvihārī. Om Tassa
Vadami Bhante.
Sukihotu, may you be well and happy. I wish you all the best. Nice.